In this video, we're going to review how to set up a linear equation. Now, oftentimes there's more than one linear equation with which we must set up in a given problem, but they all come down to a couple basic rules. Okay? Now, the ones that you're most used to writing are in the form of y equals mx plus b. Okay? In word problem terms, typically that means the total equals the rate, such as a price, times the quantity, which is usually what you want to find out, plus some base fee or basic charge. That could be the amount to just get into a taxi cab, or a flat shipping fee, or just a fee to turn something on, such as your cell phone. The other version of this setup would look like this. The rate times quantity of A plus the rate times the quantity of B equals the total. Okay, so we normally see this written as AX plus BY equals C. Now, sometimes it's not an equation, it's an inequality. So we just need to review those words. If it says no less than or at least, that means it's greater than or equal to. Okay? If it's at most or no more than, it's less than or equal to. So, for instance, if I have to go out and buy dinner for several people, and I only have so much money, I have to have less than or equal to, because I cannot spend more than what I have. So, keep these handy, and this should help us write our systems of equations. So, it's important that we read these carefully. Okay, in the interest of time, I'm just going to read them very quickly. You're welcome to go back and read them at your own pace. The Diamond Taxi Cab Company has a basic charge of 50 cents and a rate of 30 cents for each quarter mile. The Executive Taxi Company has a basic charge of 90 cents and a rate of 10 cents for each quarter mile. Determine the costs of riding in these when the cost of these riding in these taxis are equal. Now, you are not being asked to solve these. Do not solve them, just write them. However, we have to say what the variables stand for. I'm going to typically use X and Y just to keep this simple. So, I'm going to say that Y is the total cost. Okay, so it's the cost to ride in a cab. I'm going to say X is, it's the rate for each quarter mile. So X is the number of quarter miles. I'm just going to abbreviate. So, for Diamond Taxi Cab Company, their basic charge is 50 cents. Okay? And it's 30 cents for each quarter mile. So add that in. 30 cents times X. Now, if you want to have the 0.30X go first, that you're more than welcome to do so. It doesn't make it any more or less correct. And the second company, the Executive Taxi Company, charges 90 cents and a rate of 10 cents for each quarter mile. And those are your equations. Solving these is not super difficult, but it is time consuming. And right now we just need practice writing the equations. Okay, number 2 is different from the examples that I gave you before, because it's saying the sum of two whole numbers is 112. Their difference is 12. So they want to know what are the two numbers. So I'm just going to keep it simple. X equals the first number. Y equals the second number. So if I know their sum is 112, so X plus Y is 112. and I know their difference is 12. Well, difference means minus, so there you go. And number 3, this one deals with geometry. The perimeter of a rectangle. That means we have to deal with this formula, 2L plus 2W. Okay, it says the length is 25 centimeters less than 3 times the width. Find the length and the width. Okay, well, as far as I'm concerned, L is the length, W is the width. Okay, so it says, okay, I'm going to draw a picture. Pictures are often helpful. The length is 25 centimeters less than, okay, less than. Remember, whenever it says less, that's minus. And than means you're going to change the order. So whatever came before this, I'm actually going to write second. So the length is 25 centimeters less than 3 times the width. So 25 centimeters comes before it, so I'm going to write that after the minus sign. 3 times the width. So that's my length. Okay. Now, that's one of my equations. And which line you place these on is negligible. You can write them wherever you like. They tell me the perimeter is 50 centimeters. So I made that a little bit more difficult, or so it seemed. So perimeter is 50, so 2L plus 2W. Okay, number 4. Sarah bought 90 stamps for $29.70. Some were 15-cent stamps, and the rest were 42-cent stamps. How many of each kind did she buy? Well, I'm going to say X is number of 15-cent stamps, and Y is the number of 42-cent stamps. Now, I know she bought a total of 90 stamps. So, number first plus the number of the second has to be 90. Okay, so I have one equation that's the quantity. I have another equation that's going to be a cost equation. So, the 15-cent stamps, I don't know how many of those I'm going to buy. Okay, but this is my favorite kind of equation because I have a price and I don't know the quantity. So 15 cents X plus 42 cents for the Y's equals $29.70. I really like these equations because they happen very frequently and they're very common. Okay, so I've become quite good at them, and I hope you do too. Number 5, student tickets for the play Dracula sold for $2. Adult tickets sold for $3.50. A total of 1,200 tickets were sold for the show for a total of $3,228. How many tickets of each kind were sold? Okay, very similar type of equation. So, I'm going to say X equals the number of student tickets. Y equals the number of adult. Okay. Now I know their pricing. I know how many total were sold. And I know the total cost. So, quantity equation. Students plus adults has to be 1,200. Now the price. Students, $2. Price of adults, $3.50. Total income, $3,228. Relatively straightforward. Okay, very common. Okay, turn the page. Okay. Now, we got the cost of admission to Magic Land Amusement Park is listed on the sign. Plan A is $6 to get in plus 25 cents per ride. Plan B is $3 plus 75 cents per ride. They want to know how many costs will the rides for the two plans be equal. Okay, so very similar to number 1. So Y is my cost. X is going to be the number of rides. So, we got Y equals, for Plan A, the base fee is $6, 25 cents per ride. For Plan B, it's $3 to get in plus 75 cents per ride. Okay, that's number 6. Okay, number 7, 2 carpenters worked a total of 18 hours to complete the framing of a new house. The master carpenter worked 4 hours more than his assistant worked. How long did each carpenter work? Okay, so I'm going to say that X is the master, Y equals the assistant, and I'm just going to abbreviate that. Together they worked 18 hours. Okay, so X plus Y equals 18, because that's together. But we know the master worked 4 more than his assistant. So the master, he worked 4 more than his assistant. So if we knew the assistant, add 4 to that, that's how many the master worked. So I kind of use the word than as my trigger again. More is plus. Than tells me to change the order, so 4 comes before the words, so it's going to come after, and then the assistant, which is Y. Number 8, I'm told the perimeter of a rectangular room is 42 feet. The width is 3 less than the length. So picture, not necessarily drawn to scale. So if W is the width, L is the length, the perimeter is 42. So 2L plus 2W. Now it says the width is, so W is 3 less than the length. So it has than, so I got to change the order. So 3 is going to come second, L is going to come first. So that's my second equation. This takes some practice, so that's why we're going through this. Hopefully you've already moved on ahead and you've cut the video off by now. So number 9. Mr. Lead wants to mix pencils costing 25 cents each with pencils costing 20 cents each. The mixture will cost $3.60. If the number of 20-cent pencils is 9 more than the number of 25-cent pencils, how many of each type should be in the package? Okay, well I have 2 kinds of pencils, 25-cent and 20-cent. So, X is the number of 25-cent, Y is the number of 20-cent. So, I know the mixture will cost $3.60. So I have the price of each, and I know what the total cost will be. So, 0.25x plus 0.20y equals $3.60.